All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Assistive Technology, Low-Tech Options for Daily Living. My name is Sean Henderson, and I serve as the Systems Analytics Manager at Hammer Residences. I am one of the original members of our host group, Minnesota Networking and Education in Assistive Technology, or Minnesota NEAT for short. I'll be helping out by providing this very brief introduction, moderating questions, and making sure we don't get too lost in the weeds. Minnesota NEAT was formed in 2015 as a collaboration among providers and vendors to educate others and share our thoughts on the use of assistive technology. We aim to educate and connect caregivers with individuals with resources, contacts, and solutions to help grow independence through the use of technology. The link for Minnesota NEAT and our website can be found in the chat whenever Elena posts that up there. Heading there can provide you with some great places to start looking at assistive technology, remote supports, and home modifications. Today, we have Minnesota NEAT members Sue Redepenning from Live Life Therapy Solutions, Chanel Calhoun from SEMSIL, and Sherry Cook from Lighthouse Center to field your questions and provide a presentation on low-tech options for daily living. Anna McIntyre will also be joining us by phone to provide guidance from DHS's point of view, which is always very helpful. As usual, hopefully a lot of you are familiar with our format. We'll do around 40 minutes of presentations, maybe more, maybe less, depending on how deep we get, followed by 45 minutes of questions about the presentations and the areas of knowledge discussed today. Again, we are using Teams for today's webinar, so if you look in the upper right corner, you'll see two little chat bubbles with a question mark in the middle. That is the Q&A channel. If you have that open, you will be able to post any questions whenever you want, so you don't have to save them. Elena and I will be going through them as they come in. Again, that's Elena Gallagher from Dose Health. Thank you very much for joining us today, Elena, and helping me out with this. Yeah, so anyway, go ahead and click that Q&A. You'll be able to put your questions in there and we will answer those over that Q&A time period. Again, thank you all so very much for coming out today. We've already got 140 people. That's so incredible. Chanel, whenever you are ready, go ahead and take it away.
I'm getting some delayed feedback. I apologize.
Oh, shoot.
Nope, I don't think so.
I still hear Sean finishing up his introduction on my end, which is great, but I'll go ahead and start. Thank you everybody for joining. Again, my name is Chanel Calhoun. I am the Assistive Technology Specialist here at SEMSIL. I'm going to go ahead and share my video. So can everybody see the PowerPoint? Okay, great. So welcome to this NEAT Assistive Technology. Today we are going to be discussing low-tech options for daily living. What is assistive technology? So we think of assistive technology as any device, software, or equipment that helps people with disabilities increase, improve, or maintain their independence. When we look at assistive technology, we've got an array of devices from low-tech to mid-tech to high-tech. So today our focus is going to be low to mid-tech, and I just wanted to give some examples here. Low-tech being devices with especially tech options require some maintenance, some training, and more electronics are involved. So we've got some examples for there to be able to reference. Today we're going to highlight low-tech options for the following in a person's home. So today you're going to see a video with me showing devices that are available in the kitchen. I'll be showing some stuff in the kitchen and follow this presentation.
All right, very good. And who would like to start here?
I guess I was thinking Sherry. I wanted to do Sherry. Who's going to be covering then Sue will be covering ergonomics in your workstation.
Excellent. All right. So
All right.
And Chanel, just so you know, you're kind of choppy in and out, but it seems like when you lean forward, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'll go ahead and I'm going to start with our video.
Oh, we need sound.
yep. When you send that live, remember to make sure that you click the go ahead and unshare. Chanel, we're not getting any sound. So when you go to share the your video, make sure that you click share with computer audio.
Unshare.
Yep, unshare. Sorry, we're just having a little bit of technical difficulty right now.
I apologize, you guys.
No, that's okay. So yeah, when you go to click share, make sure that the toggle at the upper right has the share computer audio as well.
Okay. I apologize, everybody.
We're all good. No, that's okay. So yeah, when you go to click share, make sure that the toggle at the upper right has the share computer audio as well.
Welcome to SEMSIL's Accessible Kitchen. I'll be showing you some low to mid-tech devices that can be used in the kitchen for meal prep and eating. The devices that I'm showing today are just a few examples of items that can help to increase or improve independence for those who may experience conditions such as arthritis.
No, that's okay. So yeah, when you go to click share, make sure that the toggle at the upper right has the share computer audio.
Welcome to SEMSIL's Accessible Kitchen. I'll be showing you some low to mid-tech devices that can be used in the kitchen for meal prep and eating. The devices that I'm showing today are just a few examples of items that can help to increase or improve independence for those who may experience conditions such as arthritis.
No, that's okay. So yeah, when you go to click share, make sure that the toggle at the upper right has the share computer audio. All right, it looks like we are looping with that audio, unfortunately.
The devices that I'm showing today are just a few examples of items that can help to increase.
All right, so looks like we're going to have some technical difficulties on that end. Chanel, if you have an earpiece, that might be very helpful as far as getting the audio to work the way that it needs to work. Let's go ahead. Sherry, I think that you are up next as far as the presentation was concerned. So let's see if we can get Chanel sorted out. And Sherry, if you are ready, let's go ahead and have you share your content.
Okay.
Or if you want to do a brief introduction too, that'd be just fine.
Okay. So I'm Sherry with the Lighthouse Center for Vital Living in Duluth, and we did also do a pre-recorded video to show some of our low-tech and actually some mid-tech devices as well. Toward the end of my video, you will notice I have one of my consumers that really wanted to be a part of the video and show how he uses an Echo device with a third reality light switch and some other lower tech options to gain more independence. He was so incredibly excited. So there was construction going on in the home at the time. So bear with him as he sometimes had to repeat himself. But he was very happy and proud to be a part of this. So I will try and share my screen. Can you guys see that?
We are good.
Okay. Hi everyone, this is Sherry and I am from the Lighthouse Center for Vital Living in Duluth, Minnesota. And what I'm going to show you are some low to mid-tech devices for the living room and the bathroom, and kind of go over some other things for daily living needs. We don't have a bedroom here, so I can't really show you any devices for the bedroom, but I'll talk about a few things. First thing I want to show is the chair or couch assist. So if somebody is having a hard time with, getting down into the couch or the chair or standing up, this is nice. It goes underneath the leg of the couch or the chair, and there's a handle here. You can see that there is a TV type tray with a cup holder, some other things. You could use this for a laptop or put your dinner on, or as you can see, we have many different remotes here that we have on here. And then if somebody needed, of course, they can move this out of the way, and they can use the handle for standing up. So this is the assist tray slash stand assist. And then I wanted to go over, as long as we're standing here, we have many different types of remotes for TVs. Something that could be easy to use with a on off button, up and down button, and also when you touch these, the lights do light up, so they're easier for somebody to see and very much easier for somebody to set up and use. There are some jumbo remotes as well, and then this is another idea of a jumbo remote. And that can be for people to use with their TV. Most of these you can also use with your cable, or if you still have a VCR, DVD, satellite dish, and they're usually pretty easy to set up. This one is extremely easy to set up. Basically, you just have to hold down the buttons. It walks you through it, and you can set this up probably within just a few minutes. Some of the remotes take a little bit longer to set up depending on the age of somebody's TV and what other functions they want to do with their TV. For shower chairs, and again, I want to apologize for we don't actually have a shower here at our office building, so I just have these in our open space here. But there's many different types of shower chairs. This is your standard shower chair with the back. You can remove the back as well and just use the bottom part. On your shower chairs, they are adjustable for height as well. This is more of a transfer shower bench, where somebody, if they're having a harder time getting into the tub, these two legs would actually be on the outside of the tub slash shower combo, and somebody could actually sit down and kind of lift their legs up, over, and in on this shower bench. There are other shower benches. Oh, this, you can remove the back, and this is adjustable. If you need it to swing the other way, you just turn it around. There are different shower chairs that could be padded, maybe are more tailored to meet somebody's needs. They don't have trunk control. They're called rehab shower chairs. There's different stools that you can get to put in the shower. It really depends on what somebody's needs are, and also what their shower or tub situation looks like, how much room that they have. Some people, if they have an older home with a very small space, they're going to need a shower chair that has very narrow legs. Somebody that has a standard size shower chair, this would definitely fit in there. Maybe the person will need a bigger shower chair, and you would know by looking at a couple of these which would work best for you. So there are many different types of shower chairs that you can look at. As long as we're talking bathroom right now, there are also many different types of over-the-toilet commodes, bedside commodes, toilet seat risers. They're anywhere like from 3-inch or a 5-seat riser, with or without arms. They sell your standard over-the-toilet commode. There's bariatric commodes. There's ones that have the padded seat, that don't have padded seat. There's safety rails that go around the toilet that you can add on. Some that stand, and there's nothing that you have to do to add on to the toilet. They are a standalone device. So there's many different options for making a toilet more accessible and safer for the person to use, and really create just more independence and safety for people while they're using the bathroom. Hello, so now I'm going to show you a clock that is called Hello Susie time, and going over what she can do. She can actually help you with setting the time, setting an alarm, changing the alarm, sound, those kind of things for somebody maybe that's of low vision or blind that is not able to easily control the buttons on the back of a standard alarm, or maybe somebody that just cannot easily get to the back of the alarm. So I will briefly show you what a couple of things that she can do. Hello, Susie time.
Can I help you?
What day of the week is it?
Today is Tuesday, August 17th, 2021.
Hello, Susie time.
Can I help you?
Set an alarm.
Please say the time you would like the alarm to sound, including AM or PM.
8 a.m.
The alarm time is set to 8 o'clock AM. The alarm is off.
So those are just a couple things that I can show you in regards to how Susie time clock will work. It's very affordable, very easy to use and set up, and you can ask her those simple questions. There are many different other ways that you can set alarms in your bedroom or in the living room. You know, of course, you can always use an Alexa device, which we will show in a different video on how that can be used. But you can verbally ask what time it is using Alexa as well. But this is Hello Susie time. Okay, so now I just want to really quickly go over different ways that you can mark really anything in your home for somebody that maybe has low vision or blindness that wants to do some cooking, some laundry, you name it, anything, even the TV remotes we talked about earlier. You can use puff paint or little bump dots, they're called. So you can see on here, there's a raised, some puff paint, and then there's bump dots that are down here. The smaller bump dot where you can tell the device is off, and then when you turn it, you can tell where it goes. There's larger bump dot. So we do training in our kitchen, and so this is how our instructors will go over some of the daily living skills, and cooking is one of them. Over here, we will look at the oven. So the oven, we have the temperature down, the temperature up. We have, this is puff paint, clear off is puff paint. And then we also have the start button, bake, and broil is smaller. And so we can set and go over the puff paint or the bump dots within somebody's home to make it work for them. And then we do have a microwave over here where we did the same thing. You know, we did the puff paint around the start button, and then we also did the bump dots on the microwave itself. And then you can also mark your washers and your dryers. Like this dryer here is marked with both a puff paint here, so they can feel that. It's also marked with bump dots, so they can feel where they want to put the dial. Over here, it's some puff paint and a bump dot, so they know where to turn it for start. Okay, so I want to show you just a couple different stools. Whether somebody is using a stool to reach an item on a taller shelf, or item in the bathroom on a higher shelf, or maybe somebody is actually using it right next to their bedside to help with getting up in bed. This stool actually has a handle on it for extra safety and stability on getting up and out the stool. There are some stools that do not have the handle. There's some that are shorter, there's some that are taller. It's all on really what works for the end user, the client or consumer. This stool here is actually pretty popular for people that maybe are sitting in the kitchen and wanting to do some food preparation. It's a padded chair, although it's very easy to clean. The arms are detachable and they do go in and out. And the legs, you can also move up and down. So this would be nice for somebody that wants to sit at the countertop height and that maybe can't stand the whole time. So they can sit on here and do their food prep or whatever they need to do. So the majority of the time, I notice that people like to use the stool in the kitchen, but you can use it for whatever works for the person the best. These are just a couple of the different choices you would have with stools. Okay, now I just want to show you a couple mounts. Mounts for tablets, there's mounts for tablets, phones, even computers, like your laptops. Right now what I have is I have an iPad and a Samsung tablet, and I just wanted to showcase a couple of the mounts. This mount here is actually part of a modular hose kit where you can buy the big kit or you can purchase them already made, and you can kind of make them to fit your needs. So this one actually clamps onto the table, but you can make them to fit your needs in whatever way that you want, and you can move it around in whichever way that you want. So this is a modular hose. You can buy them pre-made, or you can buy the kit and make them yourselves like I do. This is a rolling mount for a tablet. It actually is very adjustable. So you could probably, I know we fit the iPad Pro in here, and you can turn it to whichever angle that works best for you. This works nice, it's on wheels, it's adjustable in the height, you can lower it, raise it, and so we've used this for people that maybe are in bed and want to be able to look at their tablet, look over things. Maybe someone's in the chair and they want to have it next to them. Maybe they need it next to them, but they also want to use a bright light or some different lighting. The Seva lamp is really good for that. Lighting is a whole nother topic, but there's many things that you can do with this mount. And so I wanted to showcase a couple of our mounts that we have. And remember, there are many different mounts that you can choose from. Okay. So now I just want to go over a couple different sock aids. There are many different sock aids. So one that I want to show you, this is actually for a compression sock, where you would put the compression sock over here, you would stick your foot through and then be able to pull up on the sock. You would also be able to use this device where you could help pulling down the sock and trying to get the sock off. So there's a couple, like I said, there's many. This is just a couple. This is where you would put the sock on, you would put it and then you would pull up, and it's hard without showing you. But there are many different sock aids. So if one sock aid doesn't work for you, or for your patient or client, I'm sure that there is an aid out there that will work for you. Another thing that I wanted to show is called the dressing aid. And so this will help, this side down here can help with getting things up over the shoulder, a sweater up over the shoulder. This can help with being a zipper pull, or I've had consumers use them in other ways that they're not like really made for, but this is a dressing stick, and this can be very helpful with somebody getting some of their clothing on a daily basis as well. Okay, so now I want to go over just a couple different walkers, or also known as rollators. There are many different ones to choose from. There are some that if you go into the clinic, you would get just your standard metal folding walker. It could have wheels, it might not have wheels, it may have 2, it might have 4. There are some that would be considered also as a rollator. This one has 2 wheels in the front and it does not in the back. This has a seat where somebody would need to sit down and take a break. The seat will flip up, and you can also collapse this for easier storage or putting into someone's car. So that's how that works. This one one is so somebody can, the legs are adjustable. I can't remember if I said that. And this one is for someone that maybe, needs to be a little more upright. You can extend and adjust the arms. You can extend and adjust the legs on this one.
Alexa, shut off TV. Alexa, turn TV on. Alexa, turn TV on. Alexa, turn channel 52 on TV. Alexa, mute TV. I got one more thing to show you guys, and then end this video. Alexa, turn out lights. Alexa, turn on lights. So now you know how technology works for people that are disabled. Thank you guys. This concludes the video for this one. Thanks.
Got to unmute. There we go. Sherry, thank you so much. That's fantastic. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add? Close out your video. You'll also need to unmute. There you go.
Yeah, hi. My video, the next one was playing. No, I just thank you. The last person really wanted to, really is quite an advocate and wants others to, how did he say it, have as much freedom and independence as he has. And to be honest, the devices that we set up for him in his room, the ones that he showed you were everything was under $200, affordable, easy to set up, and just has made a huge difference. And so, yeah, he's just really wanted everyone to see that. So, but if anyone ever has any questions, you can reach out, and just thank you for watching.
Sherry, I actually am going to break tradition here and have a question brought forward earlier than our Q&A, because I think it's going to be a good question that a lot of people will have as they're watching all of these videos. And that is, how are low-tech options paid for? And Chanel, Sue, Sherry, if any of you guys want to answer that. Otherwise, too, we will have Anna McIntyre hopefully joining us later today for the Q&A portion. So additional billing type questions can be addressed towards her, or DHS type approval questions. But just wanted to get that question out there to see if you guys had ideas for how the low-tech options are usually paid for.
I know for me, first, the person that I showed, the waiver was covering other environmental controls and covered, third reality switch is under $40, and so covered that, without question. So if it's something like that, the waiver was covering it. I am fortunate where I am right now, and with the grants that we have, if it's something that waiver won't cover, or their medical insurance won't cover, that we do have some grant funding that is covering devices like that. I don't know if Chanel or Sue have anything different, but that currently up in the northern and Arrowhead part of the state is what, and we have been doing, and how I have gotten devices for people.
Yeah, I would say the same as Sherry. I've worked with people that have waivers that are covering the cost for some of these technologies. Some people don't have that option, so look at their ability to pay out of pocket. But we've also been working, with the ARCS micro grant right now that's available, and that has helped people access some technology as well.
Mhm. Yeah, and the micro grant, you do need to have a waiver, and the equipment has to have been denied by the waiver first, and then you can apply for it, just so people know.
Right, or without a waiver, if they're even getting just PCA services or in a level 3 or 4 educational setting with an IEP, that would be another qualifier too. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we can all tell now that Chanel's audio has been repaired,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is great.
I'm
Again,
so
apologize
sorry.
for that audio issue. Yeah, it's all good. All right. So Chanel, if you are ready to go.
Yes, I'm ready to go. I apologize again,
Fantastic.
everybody. So here I'm going to show you my video of SEMSIL's kitchen, low to mid-tech for daily living.
Welcome to SEMSIL's Accessible Kitchen. I'll be showing you some low to mid-tech devices that can be used in the kitchen for meal prep and eating. The devices that I'm showing today are just a few examples of items that can help to increase or improve independence for those who may experience conditions such as arthritis, hand weakness, limited coordination, or involuntary movements. I'm going to start by showing the touchless automatic soap dispenser. Those who may find it difficult to use a pump soap dispenser may benefit from the use of an automatic dispenser as they eliminate the need to squeeze or push anything. So there's an infrared light under there. To start before I prepare my meals. I'm going to move down here to some loop scissors. So loop scissors are nice because they can be for both right and left hand users, and the blade automatically springs to reopen. I actually worked with a woman who had arthritis who found these loop scissors to not cause any hand strain on her hands and allowed her to resume doing a lot of crafting that she was no longer able to do. So when we're thinking about being in the kitchen, these can be nice to help open up different packaging. Another set of scissors that we have for somebody who may need a little bit more support are adapted battery operated scissors. So they work with a switch, or they can work independent. These can be removed from the base. And again, these are a nice way, if I were to open this package, I could slide it under here, press my switch, and begin opening my package. I'm going to move on next to one-handed cutting board. So it has a chef knife that is actually attached to the board. It's removable, and it can pivot both right and left. There are actually some stainless steel spikes for securing food. So I can go ahead, I can put an apple on here. It also has a 1/2-inch corner guard, so if you wanted to butter anything. This was something that I used working with a young man who was really finding it difficult to feel safe when using a knife. So this was something that he was able to use and gave him a sense of security when working in the kitchen. Another one-handed cutting board that I have here is called the Sammons Preston Homecraft Kitchen Workstation. So you can see here it actually has a shredder and a peeler that's attached to it. I actually brought in a serrated knife here, so it's a little bit more ergonomic. And you can see that we have a clamp here as well. So we clamp in some food. And then with my knife, go ahead and cut that. This one also has some spikes attached to it and a corner guard as well. This particular device, you can actually remove the spikes if somebody's not in need of that, put it around and reattach it. So moving on down, I'm going to show some devices that can be used to help open cans, open jars, open bottles. First of all, we have an Easy Touch can opener. So this allows you to easily open cans with the push of a button. To kind of save on time with the video, I'm not going to actually open this whole can of peaches, but if I were to push this button after attaching it to the can, it's going to work its way around the can and open it up for us. It helps to ensure that the user does not risk coming into contact with any dangerous or sharp edges. So it'll actually remove this whole top piece versus the inside of the can. We also have a bottle wrench here. So you can see it's got different sizes depending upon the jar or the bottle that you're wanting to open. I actually brought in a bottle of jam, a jar of jam, I should say. So securing it around, the teeth help grip, and then with a squeeze, you can go ahead and you can remove that lid. We also have a rubber grip jar opener too, or bottle opener that can be used. Moving on down, this is a pretty neat appliance, a neat device, the PowerLink control unit. So I've got it connected to a blender and a mixer today. This device allows Switch users to actually control up to 2 electrical appliances. It has 6 different modes of control. So I've currently got it on direct. Direct behaves like a traditional switch. So when I touch it, it's actually going to turn those appliances on. And with the release of the switch, it's going to turn them off. I can go ahead, like I was saying, and change the different modes. So I've got a latch mode, which will turn on and remain on until I actively turn it off. It has got timed seconds. I can do timed minutes. I've got a 2-switch control and then actually a countdown. So again, this allows for a little bit more independence in the kitchen if you're wanting to operate different appliances. I'm going to come on down here to some magnifiers, maybe for people who have some low vision. We have got a desktop magnifying lamp that can be brought into the kitchen. So you can see here that it's got an LED light attached to it. It's got a gooseneck so you can adjust it, and then a magnifying glass. So I actually brought in a cookbook. I've got that here, and somebody could use that to increase the font, increase the text size for easier vision. I also wanted to show something that could be brought into the kitchen, a lighted magnifying glass. So this can be used again to magnify simply with holding it in your hand. You can turn on a light here and use that to increase your vision. Now I'd like to show you a few devices that can be used when using your stovetop or your oven. We have got a folding pot stabilizer. So this device helps to hold on to pot handles while you stir the contents. It's made of aluminum, and it actually has some rubber suction cups at the bottom, so it can easily be folded up if you're not using it. But go ahead and suction cup it to the stovetop, and it's going to help when stirring this pot in place. We also have an easy pour locking lid strainer. So actually these devices, I was inspired to get these for our AT lab after meeting a young man who only had the use of his right arm and really wanted to learn how to cook independently in the kitchen, feel safe while doing so, loved making noodles. So this has a locking lid. You can see the little lips there that help attach to this pot. Go ahead and lock on there, and then he was able to actually boil his water while cooking his noodles, leaving the lid on there the whole time, and then with one hand take it over to the sink and actually drain the water out of there. I have a cup utensil holder here. So this is an adaptive utensil holder made of cotton. It's got a Velcro strip here to secure and fit to a person's hand. There is a pocket that can hold any kind of cooking utensil or silverware. So I've gone ahead and put a wooden spoon in here, and it can be used to hang on to that spoon a little bit better. I also wanted to show, I don't have these devices to show today, they're actually out on loan, but these are pretty neat too. These are Easy Grips, they come in a 7-pack. So you can see, and it'll also be in the PowerPoint that we will be distributing. They come in a variety of sizes. Again, made of silicone, you can wash these, they're dishwasher safe. But these are super nice too because they're very versatile, can fit in many different sizes of utensils, cleaning brushes. I actually worked with a woman who was needing to clean pans and used one of these to actually be able to hang onto the scrub brush a lot better. Another device I'm going to show you is a reacher. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this device. They require very little pressure when pulling the trigger and can minimize any bending or stretching movements. You can use them to pick up dropped items off the ground, things that maybe are high up on shelves and out of reach. Here I have a heat-resistant silicone glove. So this can withstand heats up to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. It has a nice 5-finger grip that helps people to feel a little bit more secure when handling hot items as compared to your typical oven mitt. So I'd like to show some devices that can be used when actually eating a meal. I'd like to start with the Salmon's Preston pour thing. So this particular one happens to fit 1 gallon fluid bottles. It also comes in a half a gallon. So you can use very minimal effort to tip and pour liquids, and then it returns on its own to, a standing position. We have here this is the Eat Well Assistive Tableware Set. So you've got cups that have rubber bottoms here, as well as the bowl and the plate. A cup that has a handle, if that would be better for somebody, versus one that does not have a handle. You can see that it's got some curved spoons here to fit the curve of the bowl, the curve of the plate. What I think is really neat about this particular set of equipment is the colors. So the reason that the Eat Well manufacturer chose these colors is because when you're thinking about dementia and Alzheimer's, maybe lack of appetite, blue kind of helps stand out. With vision, there's not any blue foods, so you can kind of help see the different colors of foods. The color of yellow, science has shown that it promotes happiness, and the color of red stimulates hunger. So I think that those are pretty neat. I'm really excited about these next 2 pieces of technology. We have the Liftware Steady starter kit here and the Liftware Level starter kit. So both of these devices are rechargeable. Both of them have different attachments, so spoon and spork attachment. We've got a spoon and fork attachment over here. These attachments can be removed. These are dishwasher safe. The handheld piece itself just needs to be cleaned with antibacterial wipes. But the Liftware Steady starter kit is designed for people who are experiencing tremors. So somebody who may be experiencing tremors can use this to help keep their food more steady and on the spoon itself. Over here we have the Liftware Level starter kit. Again, this device is able to adapt to a person's range of motion. So you can either have the spoon or the fork, as I mentioned earlier, and again, it's rechargeable. There's a strap should a user need it, or it can be easily removed. So I worked with a little boy who actually had cerebral palsy and was having a hard time eating on his own. And so he preferred not having this strap attached, but was getting used to actually using this so that he could then go ahead and eat on his own. So this is the Liftware Level. Kind of thinking about cleaning up when you're all done. We also have a motion sensor trash can here. So this is nice, thinking about avoiding bacteria. You don't have to worry about pushing on any foot pedal or opening any drawer if you should have your garbage can in there. So waving your hand across the top, it's going to open the lid and you can throw stuff away. All right, one of the final devices I want to show today that can be used in the kitchen is the Echo Show. So this is, again, very versatile when you think about all the things we do in the kitchen. So I'm going to start with something as simple as Alexa, Show me a recipe for chicken Alfredo.
Okay, for chicken Alfredo, here's a few recipes.
So to replace a cookbook, you can ask her to look up a specific recipe, browse those ones and pick which one you actually want to go into, and it is going to give you the instructions, all the ingredients that you're going to need, how you're going to need to prepare that meal. So that's a really neat feature. Sometimes I know I myself am curious, like how long do I actually have to cook something for before it's all the way done. One thing I ask her almost every year is about hard-boiled eggs. Alexa, how long do I cook hard-boiled eggs for?
It is recommended to boil medium hard-boiled egg for 7 minutes on the stove.
Something else that can be very useful, you know, when you think about how long is food good in the refrigerator for when you have leftovers. So this is something that can help with that as well. Alexa, how long does leftover spaghetti stay good for?
Here's something I found on the web. According to reference.com, leftover spaghetti can be stored safely in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days.
So that's very helpful. You can use it when making grocery lists as well. Alexa, add tomatoes to my grocery list.
I put tomatoes on grocery.
So you can see I've got a running list of grocery supplies that I know I need to pick up from the store. So that can be helpful. It is also used to set reminders, set timers. So if I'm cooking something in the oven or on the stovetop that I need to set a timer for, you can set a timer on here. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
You can connect a lot of various kitchen appliances to the Alexa now as well. Air fryers, toasters, microwaves, coffee makers, Instant Pots, crock pots. So you just want to make sure it's compatible with that. Another thing, kind of wrapping things up, is making announcements, but one last thing I want to show too is a show and tell feature. So this is a really neat feature when I was working with somebody blind and low vision, maybe unsure what you have in your hands. You can use the show and tell feature. Alexa, show me what I'm holding.
Let's see. It looks like fiber-one brownies.
So that's pretty neat, a pretty neat feature of the Echo Show here. And then finally, making an announcement. Alexa, announce that dinner is ready.
Announcing.
Dinner is ready. So that concludes some mid to low tech device ideas that can be used in the kitchen of your home. Thank you very much.
All right, fantastic. I actually have one of those hands-free trash cans, and it's one of my most favorite things. Chanel, anything that you want to say to close out your video?
No, I just want to, thank everybody as well, and note just how Sherry did. All these devices are $200 and under. So, keeping it cost effective, low to mid tech that can help people feel safe and independent.
Absolutely. And we're getting a number of questions now asking, hey, is there like a list of these things, whatever? Those are all on the Minnesota NEAT website. So if you look in the Q&A and to the published questions, Elena's already answered a number of those. So go ahead and click on the links that she's already posted and it'll take you right there. Sue, are you ready for your part? Most excellent.
I am. You can hear me, right?
Yep, we got you.
Okay, so I'm gonna, fingers crossed, share my PowerPoint. And in my PowerPoint, I do have some videos embedded, so I'm sharing the sound. Can you see it?
Sure can.
All right, yay. Okay, so then let me just get to the slideshow. And what I'm going to be doing is a little bit different because with ergonomics, you need to understand some of the principles first. So today I'm going to go over the principles. I'm going to show you some of the low-tech solutions and some of the concepts that we think about. And then on the website, I have a ton of what the assistive technology is, and it's low-tech. And I have QR codes on each item. So it takes you right to where you would purchase those or how you would make them. Because some of the products that we have done for the low-tech solutions are made.
So you might be sharing the your view of the slide instead of the actual slideshow, just an FYI.
Oh, weird. Okay. Does that bother you?
It doesn't bother me at all. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. It's just weird though. Okay, so maybe I'll do a custom slideshow because I was doing from the beginning.
So you should be able to, if you click on the view setting, it should just allow you to present. So if you go over view, over to the right. Keep going.
Oh, I see. Wait,
yeah, right there. Yep, okay. And then you can do normal, and that should
take care of it.
Get us in
it
there.
Was already on normal.
Reading view. Try that one.
Oh, reading view?
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Wow. All right, so, and I forgot to mention I'm an occupational therapist. So oftentimes when someone's working with someone on ergonomics, it might be with an occupational therapist, it might be with a physical therapist. There are ergonomists out there. There are people that work in workman's comp and all different types of fields. Most people have some type of medical background and or assistive technology experience that are working in the field of ergonomics. So the principles of ergonomics in practice is you really have to understand the good positioning of a person's body, whether the person's walking or in a wheelchair, uses a walker. You really have to understand body mechanics and how to support somebody in a neutral position. You want the body, ideally in work, in school, and at tasks that we do at a computer, to be neutral positioning at the workspace. So really paying attention to that. You also need to consider vision, hearing, environment, and taking breaks. Body positioning is really important. So you'll see in this picture on the very left, this is poor body positioning, which a lot of us do, where we're hunching forward, things aren't set up exactly for us. We might not be able to see the monitor, so we're squinting, our shoulders are rounded. This will cause a lot of pain to somebody, whether they're in a good chair, in a good wheelchair, seated or standing well. If the tools they're using aren't positioned correctly, then that person's going to have a lot of pain, and over time that's going to cause a chronic condition potentially. So what we want to do is look at the other two pictures, and again, whether the person's seated in a chair or a wheelchair, having all of what they need to be in a position where their body can maintain neutral positioning. And if somebody isn't using a regular keyboard, they're using a microphone and voice activation for their computer, that the microphone and the things that that person needs to be able to use are positioned so that they're not overreaching, not bending forward, that they're at that neutral, good supported position. And then standing. A lot of people are changing positions and working in standing positions throughout the day, but it's still important that when you're standing that you are positioned properly and your equipment is too. When I see somebody, and oftentimes I do in my field, that's in a wheelchair, manual wheelchair, power wheelchair, uses a walker to get up to their chair, I want to make sure that we're taking into consideration the height of that desk, where that person's laptop is going to be, what they're going to be using over time. Is it for short use, longer use, and make sure that we're getting the right tools in place. So for this gentleman that we show, everything is positioned well for him to be working there at a short amount of time, but I would say at a longer amount of time that table is going to be a little high and that laptop is going to be a little low. But this would be good for like if he's pulling up at a coffee shop, or if he's pulling up to do some studying or some work at a small station for a little time, because he can get up underneath. But when I'm looking at someone for a longer period of time, I'll show you some things that I use to get things in position more efficiently. We also want to look at reach space. So oftentimes we are putting things on our desks that are way out of our reach. And that is important to consider, because if it's something you're using throughout the day and often, you're going to be overreaching for it. And that's going to cause shoulder pain, elbow pain, neck fatigue, eye strain. It causes a lot of bad positioning on our body. So this shows a good reach space. So our primary zone is what's right in front of us and really easy to access. That's where we want to put the tools that we're using throughout the day. Then the secondary zone is okay for things that we need to get periodically throughout the day. And then that tertiary zone is really where you shouldn't put a lot of things you're using on a regular basis, and they should be things you could get up to go move closer to you when you want to use them. I do have a really nice handout on our website, which I would have you guys get when you're done with this, that shows all these body mechanic concepts. Monitor positioning is really important, and people don't take enough time to think about that. You want to make sure that when you're looking at your monitor, that your head is remaining neutral, and so that you can look straight towards the middle to the upper part of the monitor and move your eyes around and see things that you need to do without straining your neck. And a lot of people are using double monitors now too, which is great. But again, both monitors need to be positioned so that you can see what you're looking at and your neck and body is in a good position. And then if you are changing positions and you're standing, sitting, moving around, you want to make sure your monitor can move around too. So I'll show you when we get to my video of my monitor, because I do change the way I work. So I do have a monitor that goes up and down, and some monitors can go up, down, and tip and move quite drastically for somebody who's making a lot of position changes throughout the day. Visual considerations, like when I go into someone's workspace at home or at work, I do need to look at lighting. Lighting is critical, like you saw in the videos, even in the kitchen and with some of the activities that Sherry was doing. So we want to make sure that that person, if they can't handle fluorescent light, I have a lot of people who that gives them a headache. They really see the flickering in the fluorescent lighting. We'll turn that off and get better lighting that is at their workstation if they're able to do so. And also just having the right amount of light, but not too much, is really important, and not having it be directly in a person's eyes. Glare. Oftentimes when people are positioning their laptop or their monitor, they're not thinking about where the sun comes in to their windows and how that changes throughout the day. Glare is really something that's hard on people, and there are a lot of screen glare, blue light filters you can put on your monitor and your laptop now, which really can help. You want to look at contrast and how you're using your monitor and your laptop, because we can change contrast, we can change lighting that comes out of the computer, and so knowing where those settings are. If someone does notice the flickering of lights and flickering on their computer, again, there's settings that we can do to change and help with that. And with blue light, like I said, there are screens that you can put on to help with blue light, and you can wear blue light lenses or glasses to help, because the blue light that comes off of computers can be really hard for people who are very sensitive to that, and for everybody who's working on a computer like many of us have during COVID for long periods of time. And then really knowing the accessibility options that are built into somebody's monitor and laptop and computer. Hearing considerations, a lot of times we don't think about like the noise. Sometimes ventilation and heating and air conditioning can make a lot of noise, especially if someone's workstation is positioned near the radiator, heater, or water heat. And some people have a really hard time focusing when there is a lot of noise, background noise. And so I do look at that and what can help to filter that for the person, or if they're going to wear noise canceling headphones or earpieces, or if things could be changed. If they work at home, then we move their work environment to a less noisy area. If they work at work, maybe accommodation could be to change workstations with someone who's in a less noisy area. And then remote technology to cancel sound and to help someone to wear things to listen more closely that filters out the noise. And then positioning. So like I said, positioning where the person is and making sure that they're at a spot that's less noisy. Environmental things also are things that I talk to people about and oftentimes are overlooked, like what the temperature is like where they work, what the space is that they're using and that it matches the work that they're doing and the demand that is demanding of their body, that they have good air ventilation and that there's no tripping or reaching hazards at all. Fall prevention is a huge thing that I look at, like where cords are. Some people have little heaters under their desk for their feet. You have to make sure that none of those things are in the way or none of those things are dangerous. And fall prevention is a big thing when it comes to cords. If somebody's transferring out of their chair into a desk chair, I want to look at how they do that and that they have enough space and that the desk is positioned so that can happen safely. Or if people are getting up to their workspace in a unique way, I want to make sure that that's not a fall risk. And then really looking at the hallways, doorways, restroom, entrances and exits to that workspace and to the building. All of those things are part of a good ergonomic plan also. All right, so now I'm going to hopefully play my video.
My kitchen chair is wooden, so I added to it a purple is the name brand cushion, which comes with this cover. Mine was only $50 and I needed it because the hard wood was really hard when I was sitting on it all day. And so this helps me sit on it and gives me good support and cushioning. I also needed a little foot support, so I'm using a book. I didn't need a lot. And then my desk workstation, I don't use my laptop screen at all. I use this monitor and I use a regular keyboard with a mouse. And this monitor does adjust to go up and down. So it goes down by pushing, whoops, and then up real easily. So I can adjust the height of that, which I do throughout the day depending on what I'm working on. And then I do have a cord station right here, so it's easy for me to get to my cords. And then I positioned myself so that the sun is not shining onto my computer and I can shut the shade if I need to when I'm working.
So just like everyone, I had to work from home more than I ever thought I would during COVID. And so getting that workstation set up, I thought was just going to be temporary.
My kitchen chair is
temporary, but it ended up to be more permanent. And so really, even if we're thinking that we're going to stay somewhere just for a short period of time, we should be thinking about how we could position ourselves because it could end up being longer than we thought it was going to be. So that just shows that. Now
my kitchen chair is wooden.
Now I'm going to try to move ahead and show this is my student. So I had an OT doctorate student with me for 3 months of the summer. And so she ended up working in a non-traditional space too. So I had her show some of the different things that we've been using when we see people to, with low tech, get things positioned.
Hi, my name is Katie. Here's my student workstation. I mostly use a laptop when I work. I have placed my laptop using 3 textbooks that I have from school, so I already had them laying around my house. This allowed my laptop to rise, allowing me to look in a more neutral position. When I didn't have the books underneath, I noticed that I was in a forward flex motion and I had pain in my neck. I also put my iPad on a holder like this. I actually made this holder myself, and I'll link in one of the documents of how to do this. I use a Bluetooth keyboard that is linked to both my laptop and my iPad, allowing me a more neutral position when I'm keying. I tended to cause pain when I'm leaned over like this trying to type on my laptop, so now when I key, I'm in a more neutral position. As you know, you've seen these before, Bluetooth mouse and mouse pad. This just allows me in a more neutral position for my wrist when I'm mousing on my computer. I also take a lot of notes. I have that in a closed position here, and then a document holder for more easily access to documents that I may use throughout the day. Right now, I I'm more short-statured, so I need a footrest, and just a low-tech option that I've used is a pillow that was extra laying around my head.
Okay, so that just gives you some ideas of some of the things that people use. Whoops, so now I'm gonna try to get out of this again.
Hi, my name is...
Okay, so now one of the handouts that I have that you'll see, we'll go into more details, but each of the handouts will have the QR code in the corner. So here we're showing a workstation where we have the extra lighting and we have 2 monitors and an adjustable chair. And then we also show in the middle a larger keyboard, a phone, and a different document holder. And then on the right, Katie is showing how to use a stand to position a laptop higher and lower. So you can do sit to stand, and that's very inexpensive, and a wireless keyboard. For these solutions, what we did is just use some different ways to hold files. So buying file holders that go on top of the desk so that you can reach your files. Having a document holder that is attached to the monitor so it holds the document where you need to read it while you're typing. And then Katie is wearing a headset so that she can answer the phone and stay in a good position and talk on the phone. And then we have a seat cushion and seat positioning, and then a wireless mouse. Standing workstations are popular, and there's ways to do it even if you're using a tablet or an iPad. So this is using a tripod type stand with the iPad mount on it. And then Katie is showing how you can use a loop, or you can use a universal cup to be able to put in the stylus so that you don't have to hold on, or if you have less grip, you can just partially hold on as you're using the stylus. This is just showing some good transportation solutions that we talk to people about. So before, how Molly, one of my occupational therapists, is holding everything and trying to carry it all, embracing all of that weight with her body. And after is how you can use tools to make that easier. So just using a pull for your bag and using a different type of strap to be able to carry things and use your whole body and good body mechanics while you do it. Low cost ergonomic supplies. We have a lot of rug matting that you can buy at Home Depot, which is that white. The blue stuff is called Dyson. It's very sticky and it helps hold things in place. And we can buy that at Home Depot also, or any home store. And then we do use a lot of Velcro ties and zip ties to keep cords in place and get them out of the way and to create safe workstations with no tripping hazards. Velcro is our friend. So Velcro helps things stick to where you want them to in position for someone. So there's like a soft side and a loop side and they stick together. There's sticky back Velcro. So sometimes I use that to stick something to a table and then have that be able to be in place and then be able to be removed. And then also there's holders for pencils to be able to build them up, or pens. Position changes are critical, so taking a lot of position breaks, and this is a thing I have in my handouts. So a lot of people that I see will have exercise breaks where they change positions or move away from their desk, and it reminds them on their computer to do that. This is my information, and I'm going to try to return us to me not sharing, but that's my information on ergonomics. I'm not going to stay for the questions, but I do have a lot of resources and handouts on the website and a lot of providers who do ergonomics. So Live Life Therapy Solutions does do some, and we work with the Division of Vocational Rehab Services, but I did put a list in there of many others that you have to choose from. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sue. Always great to have you present. And that more or less concludes the us talking at you portion of this. Now we'll take some questions here, and it looks like we've actually done a pretty good job of closing those down over time. So Elena, way to go. Chanel, it looks like you've also been throwing in a bunch of information as well. One of the very first ones that I had here was where do you purchase puff paint and bump dots? So Sherry, that was part of your presentation. Do you have a particular place that you like to go for those materials?
Well, the easiest is always, Amazon or ordering online. But any craft store will have puff paint, like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, that's what we have up here. And then as far as the bump dots, again, online, and there's really a ton of different style, different shape, different size, different color bump dots. But low vision stores, or Amazon, they all will have bump dots.
Fantastic. It's also noted, Julie in the chat. Thank you, Julie. She says that she's found puff paint at many craft stores and bump dots through Maxi Aids. So that's another place to look for that. Sherry, I believe back to you. How do you get one of those Suzy timers or the couch stand assists?
So the both of them can be ordered off of Amazon. That's kind of my go-to for ordering things. And or like I know some stores we happen to have, I am not affiliated with it, but we happen to have currently a low vision store very close to us, and they have one of those Hello Suzy times in their store. So sometimes a low vision store may have one, or Amazon for sure has them, and again, Maxi Aids too.
Awesome. Funny little note here in the Q&A, how many people started adjusting their workstations as Sue was presenting on ergonomics. Absolutely. I was doing that a bit as well. I've got a really lovely setup here for my my home office, so I'm able to really get deep into that. So thanks again, Sue. I know she's not here, but great presentation on that. All right, let's see what else do we have here. Again, a number of questions asking if there's different lists. Again, that's going to be on the Minnesota NEAT website. So that's mn-neat.org. Looks like /events has some of those resources already listed there. And for those of you that are looking for previous recordings or for this recording, once we get it done, you can find that at mn-neat.org/tech-webinars. All right, well, let's see. Elena, is there anything else that you're seeing in here that we didn't really answer appropriately or fully?
I'm not seeing many other questions, so keep them coming. Oh, actually, one just did come through that said, I wonder if there are other things Alexa can help with. Do any of you guys want to talk about Alexa? Because there is quite a bit that Alexa can help with. And one of the things too that I think would be fun to highlight is Alexa's ability to adapt to the individual's specific voice. So if somebody's having a hard time, maybe generally speaking, their communication might not be easily understood by most individuals, Alexa can actually learn and adapt to that individual. As you guys kind of saw in that video, knowing their commands and what they're asking, which is really cool. But I'll turn it over to you guys to answer some questions too about like other fun things that people might not know about that Alexa can do.
I know, I guess I can share some things and anybody jump in if I'm missing, but something as simple as playing music, getting, finding out what the weather is. If you're wanting to order food or arrange for transportation, you can set all of that up. I've seen you can open curtains and shut curtains. Oh, there's a lot of really, really neat things. Run a vacuum. I was talking about appliances. You can have your vacuum run with that. What other cool things, you guys, can she do?
So the person that I showed some of the other things were, he had power shades on his windows. Those were more expensive, of course. That's why they didn't make this webinar. And a power door opener. His bed and mattress was via Alexa. Pretty much anything and everything in his room we set up with her. Now my Alexa is going off in my room here. And then we set routines for him. So you could say, good morning, Alexa, good morning, or whatever, however, I don't remember how we said it. And then the blinds would open, the lights would come on. And so it would just be one command, and then many things can happen at that command. There's different skills you can set. I kind of, I've been using the Alexa with motion, and she kind of follows you to where you are. So for some of our people that we see with low vision, or even somebody that maybe is using a mobility device, that it can turn to them and then it hears them better. They can see. So if you're doing a drop-in call on someone, and then it can kind of turn to them. We have somebody using one that the wife just had to go into a nursing home. So we put one in each, the nursing home and the home, and they're communicating, dropping in on each other all the time, the husband and wife, so they can feel connected. And so the Alexa with 10-inch with motion can always turn to find out where he is. So she can do a lot of things, even just asking how to spell something if you forget how to spell it, or that show and tell feature. I had somebody with dyslexic that could, was this sour cream or was it cottage cheese? And what am I holding? And or is it bleach or ammonia? I mean, some things really can make a big difference. And so that's how he used the show and tell.
And it can make phone calls, so you can sync your contacts and call friends and family. You can connect it to a Ring doorbell, thinking about safety and security too. If somebody comes, knocks on your door, maybe you don't feel safe going to it or you can't get to it, you can see who is outside of your home and communicate with them that way. Or should you not be at home, you would get that alert on your phone, and then you can even see who is at your home on the app itself.
The two major things that I use it for, first, I've got connected lights throughout the house, so I'm able to, if I'm someplace else and I realize that I left the lights on downstairs, I can ask it to turn the lights off downstairs. That way I don't have to get up and do it, because that's just the person that I am. Also, the biggest one that I use it for is finding where my phone is. So I can just say, I have the Google version, so I can just ask Google where my phone is, and it automatically will ring it. It doesn't even ask me anymore. So that's always really nice. We also have Anna McIntyre on now. Welcome, Anna. Anna, do you have any little tidbits as far as funding or other things to consider as far as low-tech AT options are concerned?
Just that I think, just so that everybody knows that the low-tech options are covered by the waiver, just as, more of the mid to high tech options are. Sometimes people think that, well, if it's just this little, these little things, that it wouldn't be included, but it's still considered assistive technology, and it's so it can be covered under the assistive technology service if someone's on the DD waiver, or specialized equipment and supplies if they are on one of the other waivers.
Awesome. All right. Oh, any funding for low-income seniors who are not on MA?
Currently, there is a grant that we have for 60 and over that is a cost share amount to ask. It's like a one-time ask or a one-time invitation. So if somebody goes off of their income, so lower income, they may have a 0% cost share, higher income, they may have up to 100% cost share, and it's one-time ask or invitation. I know there are opportunities throughout the whole state for this funding. It's called Title III funding. I'm not sure, if any of the centers have Center for Independent Livings down, more down in the southern part of the state have that or not. I know we currently at the Lighthouse up in the Arrowhead in northern Minnesota, we do have that. And then Sue and I are Sue's program and us, the Lighthouse, are currently in a partnership with Tech for Healthy Aging, and that's for ages 65 and over. And again, that's for a one-time cost share ask for services or technology, anything technology related to help with independence and safety. And those primarily are like loans or long-term loans, but there may be instances if we need to try to secure some devices for people that way. It's kind of like a person by person type situation, depending. But there's always other grants out there that if there is something in question and somebody does not have ME or is not a veteran, that maybe there could be another grant out there. So I would suggest, checking in and trying to find somebody in the field.
And I just wanted to add too, when we think about purchasing equipment, purchasing devices, sometimes it's nice to know before we buy whether or not they're going to meet our needs. So I know here at SEMCEL and Sherry with the Lighthouse, we are partners with STAR, Minnesota's federally funded AT program. And so a lot of the devices that we highlighted today are available for demonstration and short-term loan. So if people throughout the state of Minnesota are wanting to try something out before they look at buying it, they can get in touch with us and we can set that up too.
Yeah, I would just add too, we did have a legislative approval or a legislative proposal approved to allow up to $2,000 small grants for funding technology using FMAP funds. So I'm not sure exactly where things are at with that, because thankfully there were a lot of things approved during the last session, but so now we're just kind of still in that scrambling to get things ready for implementation phase right now. So, but that should be coming as well.
Very good. All right, we got a number of questions coming in. So obviously, if you're going to use an Alexa or a Google Home, you will have to have an internet service. Is there a good way to help people pay for the internet service?
We're all hesitant. So right. that is always, not always, that can be a barrier, but there are programs that are out there for people that are more affordable. This is just an example, and again, this is just while we have a grant, but this is an example of what might be out there if you dig. That cost share amount, Title III funding for 60 and over that I was talking about, we have actually paid a 1-year subscription for internet for somebody or phone service for somebody that needed it. So we took care of the year. I know that there are other grants out there throughout the state that can do that one time, like let's pay for 6 months of this or let's pay for a year of that. But there are affordable options out there for the internet. I know in our AT loan and demo program that we have up in northern Minnesota, in like Chanel was saying, we are START partners, so we can ship throughout the state. We did purchase a lot of our iPads and other tablets with LTE with built right in. So if we have a device go out, we will activate it. And then while that person is trialing that device for the 30 days, they will have access to it just to see if that tablet or device does work for them. And then after that, if it does, then the ATP or person, or OT, whoever is helping them with securing or trialing devices can maybe look for alternative funding that might be out there for that. I don't know if anyone has anything else to answer or to add to that, but that's kind of up in northern Minnesota what we do.
I would just add that the FMAP funds that I was mentioning earlier, that will cover internet and equipment. So, but the the traditional waivers do not at this time cover internet expenses. If someone is on CDCS, there is a policy around being able to cover internet in kind of more specific circumstances. So if someone meets the criteria where they have equipment that requires the internet to be able to utilize that equipment that they've been assessed to need, those types of things, and they're on CDCS, then they can get their internet covered that way as well.
And Anna, just a follow up, what is FMAP?
Yeah, so there's a lot of federal funds available that people could apply for, and it was kind of, I think, due to like I think it was with like tied to COVID and you know, money that was set aside for that and things. So there was just these funds that were available that we could write proposals around to try to get approval to utilize some of those funds in some various ways. So that is a terrible explanation. I actually helped write the proposal, but so I should probably know what that stands for, but yeah, you sometimes just do, you know.
All right. So this is an excellent question. So are there vendors who can provide assistive technology through the DD waiver without having a full assessment? The vendors I've worked with are so busy that assessments take a while. So is there a way that somebody that's looking to provide you know, a technology need or provide a solution to a need, especially if it's something like, well, it's quite obvious that this person wants to advance independently with cooking, as just a good example here, without it, you know, taking 4 months to get an assessment done to buy a, you know, single arm cutting board or something like that.
Yeah, and you know, assessments aren't required to be able to authorize technology. If there are members on the person's support team that feel that they have a high enough comfort level in the ability to look at people's needs and be able to find technology that would meet those needs, they are able to just go ahead and authorize those things. STAR is helpful. Pacer, I know, does it as well. Some lead agencies even have like a lending library, so people can try something out first, and then to see if it works, and then purchase it. They don't have to go through an assessment to do that. Sometimes people already know they can utilize it because maybe they've been at somebody else's house and used theirs, or maybe it was a piece of equipment that they used when they were in school and now they're out of school, and you know, when they left school, the school retained the equipment, but you know, they know they can utilize this equipment and it's been helpful for them. And so, I mean, it's fine to just go ahead and purchase those items. Yeah, so you don't have to have an assessment first, but if somebody feels that they don't feel comfortable, you know, identifying those things or being able to select appropriate things, then we do recommend an assessment just to ensure the best fit. But
sure, and I can maybe give just a little bit of background as far as what I've done previously at Hammer, and this is speaking from somebody that does not have the ATP behind my name. But what I've done is work directly with case managers in, you know, presenting the need, working with the program manager and the individual supported directly to say, all right, what is the direct need that we have here? What are we trying to accomplish? Is this an independence-based item? Is this a safety item? Is this a life fulfillment item? And then to go from there and really demonstrate exactly what that need is. So once again, to take cooking into consideration with a one-handed cutting board, if that was really the thing that we wanted to do, we could create a goal around that to say, you know, Charlie will use the cutting board provided to him, you know, 2 times a week to cook his own meals. I mean, that's a huge step there. Everybody gets to see data on it. Everybody gets to see the use of it. And, you know, everybody's really happy afterwards. And in a lot of cases, we're able to get funding for items like that, which has worked really great in Hammer's case. All right, so that's my little spiel though. Let's see, what else do we have here? Ooh, suggestions if I am looking for ways to set up a member to use / navigate entirely by voice. There is some good assistive options within Microsoft alone that I would suggest checking out in their adaptability settings. So that's definitely something I'll be the first one to admit I haven't been able to get in there in quite a while, but the last time that I was utilizing the adaptability settings, they were really, really cool. Chanel, do you have an idea on that?
So using just your voice to operate your computer, I know Dragon Software is a software program that people like and use, and we have that here for demonstration. I guess you think about micing options. There's a lot of different options for that too. If it's foot mouse, if it's a head mouse, so there are different micing options available too. Different mics. You know, if somebody can't wear a headset or for any reason, I just worked with a woman who has a severe metal allergy, so she cannot touch anything. So we looked at the Flamingo mic, I'm sorry, so that she didn't have to touch or wear a headset. So yes, there are options out there.
Great, and we are now at 11:30, but there's only 2 questions left. So if you guys don't mind, if you guys have the time, let's just go ahead and address those. I mean, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Stick around and we'll answer these last couple of questions here. All right, let's see. How would these low-tech devices be funded when an HCBS provider is purchasing for an individual living in a, say, assisted living or supported environment? Anybody?
Could you repeat that question again? I was trying to multitask and it didn't really work out very well.
I most certainly can. How would these low-tech devices be funded when an HCBS provider is purchasing for an individual living in an assisted living or supported environment?
Yeah, so if it's for a specific person, and it can be considered belonging to that person, so it'd be something that they could physically take with them if they moved to a different location. It's totally fine to fund that through the waiver. It doesn't, just because somebody lives in like some sort of residential setting doesn't mean that the provider is then responsible to cover, you know, all expenses for everything. If there's certain things that can be unique for that person, then it can be covered through the waiver. If it's something that's more universal for like the entire household to use, or it's something that's like would be built into the house and be challenging for the person to take with them when they moved, then that would probably more so be the provider's expense. But yeah, oftentimes that's not the case. And what I was trying to do, and it wasn't allowing me to copy and paste, but I found out, I looked up what FMAP funding was, and it's federal medical assistance percentages. And so it's the percentage rates used to determine the matching funds rate allocated annually to certain medical and social service programs in the United States. So there just happened to be a surplus this year in those funds. So people were able to make proposals to figure out ways to best utilize those. So.
Excellent. All right, the last one that I have here is, how does Alexa work for a person that doesn't speak clearly. Now, I can answer a little bit of this. I know that Matt Hansen would have a lot to say on it, but I know that there are different training things that you can do with your Alexa that will help it recognize your voice more over time. It'll have you say specific phrases or specific words to kind of get to know your speech patterns a little bit better. Does anybody have more that they can elaborate on that? Because that's about all that I have.
So I've worked with someone that was nonverbal, but wanted to have the environmental controls. And what we did was set up on the person's current iPad a communication app, AAC communication app, like Protocol Go or Touch Chat. And we made particular buttons on there for saying, Alexa, turn on the light, Alexa, turn off the light. And we did it that way. So that's what we did.
That is so genius.
So that's how
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, even with somebody that maybe has a profound difficulty enunciating or speaking so that Alexa can understand them, that might even be a great option for it as well. All right. So do we have anything else that anybody wants to share? Looking down at the presenters, seeing that everybody's shaking their heads. All right. So once again, this has been Minnesota NEAT presenting on low-tech options for daily living as far as assistive technology is concerned. Today on the call, we've had Sherry Cook from Lighthouse Center. We've had Chanel Calhoun from SEMSIL. Elena Gallagher, thank you so much for helping me out and moderating the chat. She's from Dose Health. And of course, Anna McIntyre from DHS, the waiver policy lead. I am Sean Henderson. I work at Hammer Residences. This has been so much fun to hang out with you guys. And have a wonderful Thursday.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.